Guys, can you hear that music? I'm not sure if you can hear it, but tell me in the comments if you can hear it. You see, this is one of the reasons I need, you know what I need? I need one of those mics that stand on, they set on your desk. I prefer those. I prefer that to this. This is a bit discombobulated to me. Please tell me in the comments. Mark Casanda says, what are you cooking today? Well, we're going to talk about it. Who's that? Jess? Somebody says, so you could hear that music? Let me explain what you're listening to. First of all, I'm using Streamyard. Streamyard is a live streaming platform. I've been using Streamyard now for close to 3 years, I think. It's a brilliant streaming service in my view. And the other day when I used it, I hadn't paid for my subscription. And whenever you don't pay for your subscription, there's a gigantic Streamyard logo right there. But the moment you pay for your subscription, you can put your logo up there, which is what I've done, SML TV. And of course, as I said, if you don't pay, they put their logo there, and that's fine. It's about $68 a month to subscribe to Streamyard. Now, here's the great thing about Streamyard and doing these live streams is that you can use your Spotify account to play uncopyrighted music that if you play the music, Facebook is not going to flag you. Facebook is not going to fault you or call you out on it. And that's the music you were listening to. So this music here, I will show you now. I connect my phone to my Rodecaster Pro 2, which I can't show it to you because my DSLR is stationary directly in front of me. And the console, the Rodecaster 2 console is sitting on my desk, and I'm literally looking at my laptop and my screen. So that's the setup basically. And like I said, if you want to play music, which I think is great, you know, the thing though to do, and I'm in the process of doing this. I know I've been saying I'll do this for a long time, but I will eventually get to it. What I will do is, because, you know, this sort of thing, what you need is an intro and an outro. You need a little two and a half second, maybe 5 second intro video that sort of introduces the broadcast. and then an outro whenever you get to the end of the broadcast so that your audience knows exactly who they're listening to and what the show is about. So I'm now, I sussed out, I figured out how to sort of coordinate my phone in sort of strategy to where at the end of this broadcast, I will ask you to phone me up and sort of give your opinion based upon what I've shared with you. It won't always be that way, but I'm just telling you that that's what I plan on doing today. If you could also tell me in the comments, I'm looking at your comments here in the broadcast, although I think that the lighting is a bit too bright. What do you think? I think the lighting is a bit too bright. Do you not think so? Tell me in the comments. I think it's a tad bit too bright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand up and I'm going to adjust the light because it's a bit too bright. Tell me in the comments if you think it's too bright. Tell me. Mulombi says, watching from Mwinilunga. Greetings, Vamuel. Is that Switzerland? Mwansa Chisunka. Is that Switzerland? Tell me in the comments. I'm trying to see your comments here. And also, let me also, you know what I think I need to do is I need to do one of these deals. Here we go. Because you have to coordinate the whole thing loud and clear. Nathan says yes. Also, let me describe the service provider that I'm using. Many of you know that for a long time I used to use Airtel. Airtel wasn't working for me because with these live streams, you need a very, very good connection. Short of going for Starlink, you can go local, you know. I chose to use Zamtel. Now, here's the thing about Zamtel is that when they first install the fiber network, for example, the Zamtel people, they came here to Simulson, they installed the fiber, and incidentally, this is not a plug for Zamtel. I am a Zamtilian. I'm just sharing with you my experience. The service that I get from Zamtel, in as far as fiber is concerned, is paid for. We pay for it. Okay, it's not like Zamtel plugs it in for free. They don't. I pay for that service. The thing, though, is that when Zamtel when they first install the fiber, they sort of give you depending on what you agree with them. What I had initially agreed with Zamtel was that I would come in at that entry level tier. So you pay 700 and some odd kwacha per month and you get the service. Well, I was doing that, and then I realized my broadcast wasn't so clear. So I went to Zamtel office, specifically at Levi Mwanawasa Zamtel office, and there's a lovely lady there that helped me out. And so she suggested to me that I sort of up the ante a bit. Instead of using the entry-level fee, which is 700 kwacha per month, she said, if you want a faster, better network, better connection, she suggests that you go for that third tier, which is $2,229, which is a bit of a stretch. You know, I mean, that's quite pricey, but I think the connections is good enough, I think. What do you think? Tell me. Tell me what you think. Tell me. I need to turn down the light a bit. Turn down the lights. I always have to break out in a song, for goodness sake. So I'm going to stand up here. Just give me a moment. I just need to adjust the light. The light's a bit too bright. All right, here we go. Here we go. There we go. I think that's a little better. What do you think? I mean, I don't want to look orange. I don't. You know? Do you know what I mean? Right. So I don't like it when the cable is in front of me. I prefer the cable behind me. Can you imagine the cable running across sort of down my chest, down to my slacks? Cannot stand that. How's that? Is that better? Tell me it's better. Go Go ahead, tell me it's better. I think that's better. I do. A few of your comments before I begin. Lighting is okay. Thank you for that. I'm watching you from Garden House, Lusaka. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Guys, it's just okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. So guys, oh, by the way, incidentally, before I get into my dissertation, did you guys hear about Donald Trump? The guy, first of all, let's be clear. There are lots of things Donald Trump does that are controversial, lots of things that he does that are unconventional, very unorthodox. But when it comes to this recent scandal, there's this issue apparently on one of his websites, not his main Facebook page, but on one of his websites. Donald Trump has a website called Truth Social. And not everybody goes there. He's got a bit of a following there, but I think he's got a bigger following on Facebook. Well, Truth and X and probably Instagram. Well, this platform, Truth Social, was the people that handle that platform, that website, were running a video that talked about voter malpractice. It was basically sort of lending to this idea that, Donald Trump has always believed that the election before this one was stolen from him. So in this video, it was trying to demonstrate, and according to them, they had the proof that, there was a bit of voter malpractice in that election that he lost. And at the very tail end of that video, the video auto changes. Now when you're watching Facebook, you know how you're watching a video and then at the end of that video, Facebook auto rotates videos. Like they'll pop up another video right below the one that you've just been watching. Tell me if you know that. Tell me in the comments if you're aware of that. Are you aware of this feature now? You could be watching if I'm watching a video on my Facebook literally auto changes what I'm looking at. Another video will just pop up right underneath the video I was watching. Tell me if you're aware of that. Do you know that? Tell me if you know that. Well, it happened in this case. So this video that was being shown on Donald Trump's Truth Social, the video clip was about voter malpractice and what he felt. The video demonstrated that, this election was, the election that Donald Trump lost was a bit fraudulent. And right at the tail end of that video, this other video pops up. Now, the video that pops up shows Michelle Obama and Barack Obama. It takes their heads and puts them on the heads of apes, monkeys. Okay, now let's contextualize this. If you watch the entirety of that second video, the video that shows Michelle Obama and Barack Obama as apes, if you watch that entire video, you will see that this video was created not too long, well, some time ago, but it had many, many political characters in there as animals. Joe Biden himself was depicted in that video as a banana eating monkey. Okay, my point is this. Yes, at the face of it, it seems scandalous. At the face of it, it looks as though this was a deliberate attempt to disparage the Obamas or to sort of present this racially charged image. But the truth is, the guy that is in charge of that website, that Truth Social, he blundered when he allowed the video to auto scroll to the next video that showed Michelle and Barack in this form. Donald Trump himself, and this is the only way to fix this, Donald Trump himself needs to address it, which he did, although I felt that he didn't address it fully. He sort of glossed over it. He said, look, that was a big mistake that somebody made. I have nothing to do with that. And he said, I disagree with that sort of, that thing that you can't post things like that. But the truth is, the only way to fix it is for Donald Trump to specifically say, look, this is wrong. I didn't endorse this. I don't agree with this. The auto change of the videos was unfortunate, but I don't agree with that. He should have just come out and said, he should have said that. But the problem with Facebook and the internet, oh, honey, this story has grown legs. The vast majority of the internet public don't even know about auto scrolling. They have no idea that there were two separate videos that followed one after the other. They have no idea. And even when you explain it to them, most people are sitting there saying, no, Donald Trump posted this. Donald Trump didn't do that. He didn't do that. And I blame his handlers. And in part, I blame him because I think he should have come out more aggressively and sort of said, look, this was totally wrong, even though he did say that, but I don't think that he was forceful enough. That's what I think. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you guys think. Yeah, somebody says, yes, some videos are annoying and you don't intend to watch them. It's true. In the past, you could scroll yourself. Now, it auto scrolls. Somebody says he didn't say it was a mistake and he refused to apologize straight from the mouth. Well, that's what I heard. I heard him address it. And, well, he didn't verbatim say it was a mistake, but he did. The gist of what he was saying was that he didn't agree with it, is what I'm trying to say. But I do agree that he should have been more forceful about it. Trump should have just come out and said, look, this was wrong. I disagree with this. And the guys that are in charge of the website should not have allowed the auto change switch of the videos to be paired with the original video. I think he should have been a bit more forceful. Somebody says, I think you don't know what it's like to be a Black American, but I still admire you. Well, I've lived in America as a Black African. I'm not a Black American, but I've lived in America. I know your culture quite well. I do. And I am alive to the fact that there are issues there. I know that. So guys, let's talk about this issue here. I just wanted to bring this to your attention for the sake of gender balancing. And I'm going to give you why I think this way. I believe in Zambia now, in as far as the race for Lusaka mayor is concerned, I believe that the next mayor should be a man, and I'll tell you why. First of all, let me just make it clear. This is not a sexist statement. I know the current mayor of Lusaka, Her Worship Chilando Chitangala, seems to feel that one of the posts that I put up a few weeks ago where I said, for the sake of gender balancing, the next mayor of Lusaka should be a family man and should be a man, more importantly, I believe. She sort of felt that I was making a sexist statement. I'm going to qualify what I'm saying, but I will right off the bat, straight out of the gate, tell you that there is not a sexist bone in my body. There is not a single sexist fiber in my soul, in my being. I believe in equal opportunity. I do. However, I do believe that we as men and women are differently abled. I believe that. Now, that's not to say that a woman is not qualified to be a mayor. That's not true. And I'm not suggesting that. Of course, a woman is qualified. If she's qualified, she's qualified. But more importantly, let me explain my vantage point. Let me explain to you why I say what I say and where it comes from. In particular, specifically the current mayor, Chitangala. A few years ago, about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, no, it was about 6 years ago, this was when she was serving as deputy mayor. She's the current mayor now, but there was a time when she was the deputy mayor. She was serving under Miles Sampa. Miles Sampa was the mayor of Lusaka at the time. Chilando Chitangala was the deputy mayor. There was a case, a very curious case. I had written to Lusaka City Council asking them if we could barricade off a piece of land, not the car park, a different piece of land, so that bus drivers do not park there. I wrote to the council, and because as you know, some of you know that Simoson building has two facades. Do you know what a facade is? A face. Simoson has two facades. It's got the facade that faces City Market, and then it's got the facade that faces Lumumba Road. Well, the facade or the face that faces City Market was being illegally used by bus drivers. They were parking there and it was a mess, it was a nuisance. So I had asked Chilando Chitanga, not her, I'd asked the council. I wrote a letter to the council asking them permission to put pins, bollards. In England, they call them bollards. You know bollards? The pins, so that we block off the buses from parking on that spot. We wanted that to be a pedestrian walkway so that people walk through there unblocked, unfettered, unhindered. The council gave us permission to do that. And I had called Chilando Chitangala herself. And I said, hey, listen, you know, I've written to the council and we want this. We're asking if we could put pins along this sidewalk so that buses do not illegally park on this side. We want this to be a walkway. She said, okay, that's fine. When we started putting those pins, this was during the PF. This wasn't 6 years ago. This might have been 7 years ago, 8 years ago, 7 years, somewhere there. When we started putting those pins, this was during the PF. The moment we installed the first pin, PF cadres came, Abena Monga, Abena Muke, Abena Mutila. These were PF commanders in those days. They all swarmed around me and they said, what are you doing? So I said, I explained to them what I was doing. I said, oh no, we're putting pins here. He said, well, who did you ask to do this? These are PF cutters. Remember, this was a time during the PF where the PF felt that the sun would never set on their brutal empire. This was when the PF felt that they were the be-all and the end-all of everything. This was when the PF thought that they would rule and reign for 1,000 generations. And so these cadres, they surrounded me and they said, what are you doing? I said, I'm putting these pins. Who gave you permission? I said, I wrote the council. No, you can't write the council. I said, yeah, not only that, but I've even told the deputy mayor. I've informed the mayor, but I've verbally told the deputy mayor. Right there and then, one of the cadres picked up his phone and he called Chilando Chitangala. And she was the deputy mayor at the time. And he said, Chilando, send Panopasimoson. Miracle of miracles, within a few minutes, less than 15 minutes, she was there. She was on site. Now, by the time she had shown up, there were more than I would say 50 cadres, more than 50 cadres, standing there surrounding me saying, hey, why would I become a piñapa? And then each cadre that would come over, this was, oh, no, those are dark days, man. Each cadre that would show up would say, hey, and then you know, the commanders would say, hey, chirafok we come a piñapa. You want Tambala, you want to we come a pin, I know a parent, some be out Steffi. Chirafok we come a pin, I don't folk we sell a bus, yeah. Chirafok we packing a bus, yeah. But chirafok to Kanye Chich Tambala. And then Muke would say, no, we've caught the deputy mayor, she's coming. I was fully confident when Chilando Chitangala shows up, she will explain to them, these cadres, that I had written to the council. She would explain to them that I had actually informed her that of the date that we were going to start putting the pins after we wrote to the council. I was fully convinced that she would tell them that. The moment she showed up, now remember, this is a woman standing in the midst of political cadres, PF cadres. When she showed up, now it's me and her standing on the corner of Kalushawalia Road and Simonmore Lane, surrounded by PF cadres. By the time she showed up, there were like 50, 60 cadres. So the commander, the guy in charge, the cadre in charge, turns to Chilando and says, Bachilando, ichichi chitambala chilelanda ti namumpele nsambu yakubika amapinyapa. Deputy Mayor, this Mwewa is saying, he claims that he has written to the council and that you as council have given him permission to put these pins so that these buses don't interfere with this lane. Is that true? As sure as I am sitting here, God is my witness, Chilando looked at those cadres and said, I never said that. I don't even know what he's talking about. He never informed me. He didn't even say that to me. My goodness. Do you know what those cadres did? You're just lying. The deputy mayor is here and you're telling us lies. Chilando Chitangala sold me up the river. When she knew very well what we had done. She knew everything we were planning to do there. She knew we had written to the council. She knew we got permission to do that. She knew that she was informed, but she flat out denied it in front of PF cadres. This is the reason I say a woman should have the backbone to stand, a mayor should have the backbone to stand up against cadres. If cadres feel that they can take advantage of a person because that person is a woman, then there's a problem. In my view, there's a problem. So what I believe is this city needs a heavy-handed male. Let me say it again, and I'm not ashamed to say that. I will tell you flat out. The way this city's designed, the type of rascals we have running around here, we don't need some tepid young chick walking around here talking about how, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. No, but don't tell them what's adoba. No. We need a heavy-handed male that will do the job. You think this city is going to be functional with a young lady tiptoeing through the tulips? You really think that? You think that this city is going to function because a young girl just says, oh, I want the city to function? No, it's not going to function that way. for the sake of gender balancing. We've already done, we've had a man, we've had a woman. It's now, in my view, I think it's time to gender balance. Give it to a male that is heavy-handed. That's all I'm saying. And I believe that. I really do. When I see, especially in the local authority, especially when it comes to the functionality of the city, the way these bus stations are run, the way these markets are run, man, I tell you, you need enforcement. That's what you need. Forget tiptoeing through the tulips. Forget kitty gloves. Forget romancing the stone. Get the job done. That's what I'm saying. All right. I've given you my 2 cents worth. Facade. Right. So I'm going to ask you to call me on my WhatsApp. And then how are we doing it? We're doing it. What are we doing? Settings. I'm going to go to my settings. Connected for calls. So here it is. I need you to call me on this number and tell me what you think. I know this is controversial. I know it is. But guys, you have to remember, this is my view. And I don't believe I'm being sexist. I'm being practical. I don't believe I'm being discriminatory. I'm being practical. Okay, so go ahead and call me on that number on WhatsApp. Okay, Bluetooth. And then let's see if you can go ahead and give me your 2 cents worth. WhatsApp only, guys, please. And then give me your opinion. I've given you my opinion. I need you to give me your opinion. Go ahead, break it down for me. There's the number. Call me only on WhatsApp. Okay? Are we ready? Are you calling me? Are you guys calling? You need to call, start calling. Go ahead. And if you're a feminist, please don't scream at me if you're a feminist. Okay, I don't need kitty gloves, indeed. Not just a man who's brave. There you go. I agree with that. I agree with that. Someone says, that's what I know. So there's the number, guys. Please call me on that number there on WhatsApp only. Call me on that number on WhatsApp and then see if you can sort of give me your 2 cents worth on this issue. Once again, I'm not a sexist. I'm just being practical. Samba was also toothless. That's something there. Look, here it is. Lusaka looks so dirty in her leadership. All right, here we go. Hello?
Hello, how are you, Mr. Moyo?
I'm well, thank you. Who am I speaking with?
You are speaking to Nathan Zulu from Chidirabombwe.
Kuchilabombwe.
Yes.
Vazulu, go ahead.
Yes, I think you are right, because looking at the way Lusaka is dead, so it needs someone who has got a voice and a strong voice that can control the city, because as the city, the capital city, our pride must be clean. That is the city that receives visitors from all over the world. So it needs to be clean all the time. And every time we are seeing you walking around the streets, we can see the dates. And if I might be honest, the area that you walk around and controlling people is the only area that is green in Lusaka.
And that's so
we
sad.
need a man. Yes.
Thank you, my
so
brother.
We need a man.
I agree with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. And I think that that's sad. This street, this portion of SML, Simon Moore Lane, should not be the only. And I must tell you, just to get it that way is a lot of hard work. You know, I mean, we pay people to do it. I have 4 people that consistently clean. You know, one of the best ways to clean this entire city is to consistently clean. There's this idea, and it's drilled into our people's minds. There's this idea that no, tizapyanga muchunguro. No, clean as you go. Every person in the CBD, it's like they're all birthed from the same mother. They all say the same thing. No, tizapyanga muchunguro, tizapyanga pokomboka. We will sweep when we start going home. That is nonsense. First of all, traders should only trade in the market. That's first of all. Guys, listen to me. If you haven't heard anything else I've said, hear this. It is impossible. It is impossible to have a clean city with street vendors. Impossible. As long as we have vendors on the street, the city will never be clean. I'll give you an example. Freedom Way, no matter how much you sweep Freedom Way, all those vendors that trade on Freedom Way are a waste management machine, a waste generating machine. Waste generating machines. They generate so much waste. It's incredible. Hello? Are you there?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Mr. Moewa.
Please go ahead. Who's speaking?
Okay, my name is Chola. I'm calling you from Minwood within Lusaka.
Hi, Chola. Go ahead.
Yes, I would just like to say thank you for the work that you've been doing, and then for just trying to put sanity out there. What you're saying, I totally agree with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, my sister.
In handling those people, especially around your area, you know? We don't need someone to just come, you know? People are scared that once they are tough, they might not vote for them. But that's not what we want. We want someone that will work. We can't continue living like this, you know? Garbage is never collected in time. Drainages are blocked. Traders can't just go buy at the market. There's enough space. If you go to Soweto market, the place is empty. People are just but there's enough space for them to trade from. So what you are doing is a good job. And if at all, you have my vote.
Oh, wow. Thank you, my dear. God bless you. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
God bless. Thank you. And guys, let's be clear. All the markets in this city can absorb all traders. Never listen, never believe anyone that says to you, there's no space in the market. That is a lie. And it breaks my heart to hear a mayor echo that sentiment. Anytime you hear a mayor, anytime you hear a member of the local authority say to you, there's no space in the market, that's a lie. Don't believe them.
Good afternoon.
Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Who's speaking?
Kahiata Vincent calling you from Luampa, Western Province.
Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much for the topic that is on discussion. Well, indeed, Lusaka needs a man to run it for a mayor. Lusaka, it's been the heart of Zambia. Everyone comes to Lusaka because of it's on the map. So you being a man being on the city of a mayor, it's a plus to me. So I concur with you with your words. I want to give chance to others to speak. Otherwise, I go for the opinion that the Lusaka needs a man. Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. And I believe that. I believe that you need someone that will not go in there with kitty gloves. You know, we are differently abled. I believe that. As men and women, we're differently abled. But in this climate of aggression, you don't need a tepid person. You don't need someone walking in 8-inch stilettos saying, in this environment, not possible. You're just wasting your time. If that's the approach, you are wasting your time. So once again, please give me a call. And I concur with the other caller as well. I don't believe that in order to gain votes, you have to let people do what they want. In order to get votes, you have to let street vendors run amok. In order to get votes, you have to allow people to urinate anywhere they want, because if you show them a better way, they won't vote for you. That is a fallacy. That is not true. And that is a lie that somehow Zambian politicians have been convinced that it is true. It is not true. There are people in the city that want order. There are people in the city that want functionality. They vote as well. They are also voters. We are all voters, every last one of us. You, me, we are stakeholders in this community called Lusaka. So don't allow anyone to say to you, no, ama vendors mwiraba kumiako, bantunga mwaba kumiako, ama votes tayakese. That is a smokescreen. It is a lie created and manufactured in the pits of hell, and it doesn't stick, it doesn't stand. The city comes first. Functionality comes first. Okay. Just let me take one more call, and there we go.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mwewa.
Hi there. Who am I speaking with?
You're speaking to Mazi. I'm calling from Germany.
From Germany.
Yes.
Ganz gut.
I watch you live. Yeah.
All I know.
All
I know in German is ganz gut and wunderbar.
Oh, wunderbar. Okay. I would really want to really appreciate for the works that you do. And it's really sad that you are just one person who's trying to create this cleanliness. There's something that we all do. Once they stop to litter. The moment you get on a plane going to another country, we stop to litter because we know, oh, it could be fined and so forth. Why don't we do that for our country? It's really sad that we have our capital city as Lusaka, and there's so much filth. The last time I was in Lusaka, Kuya Soweto Market, it's a shame. It's really, really a shame.
Indeed.
Why can't Lusaka being the capital city, why can't the government have a different funding? We might not have so much happening on the Copper Belt, but Copper Belt is clean. The onset every year in cholera, every time, every year in, year out. Why can't we have a huge funding to create drainages and that people stop littering that their bins, you know? So we support you for Mayor of Lusaka. Keep on doing what you do. Really, you're doing a great job, and keep the good works going. Thank you.
Thank you, my sister. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Number video na ideka. All right, I think my battery's flat. All right. Well, anyway, thanks for listening, guys. God bless. Bye.